Hi everybody, I'm Scrub, and after months of inactivity, I am finally back with more updates for Albion Online. I know, took me long enough, my bad. Your boy was getting that minimum wage bag, alright? But now, we have the first patch of the part 2 of the Realm Divided update. Yes, part 2. The developers really did a DLC release on us, and it's time for us to know what's new in the game right now. So let's get right into it. Okay, first things first. I was gone for a while, and I kinda need to catch up. So allow me to give you a 60-second speedrun of the most important stuff that happened in the past few months. Ready? Let's go! Faction camps now respawn at random. More siege times on all servers. When any faction declares an attack on a lethal province, Kaerlion also declares an attack. If Kaerlion is not attacking at least 2 provinces at any given moment, they just declare an attack out of nowhere. They just want all the smoke. The Broadsword can now reset the ultimate cooldown on kill, so you can chain it like a hack-and-slash video game. We're playing Devil May Cry in this bitch. You can't use the healing hood to gather resources while invisible anymore. You could do that? Faction battle standards were introduced. It's like playing Capture the Flag, and the winner gets bonus faction points. Massive day for the unemployed! Now the Bandit Assault gives a buff to fame, silver, and loot, so go take advantage of that while everyone else is fighting. If your faction is losing the war, you now get a buff to damage and defense. Oh my god, the soldier armor is so broken now! It regenerates 30% of your health on command. This is so OP! What are we gonna do? And it's gone! Completely reversed. This never happened. Get fucked. That was a lot, wasn't it? But since we're all caught up to speed, it's time to make a deep dive into the changes released in this new patch. There is a huge change in the Conqueror's Challenge. Now it's possible to progress the challenge between seasons. Yes, you heard that right. Any might you earn during the off-season will count towards the challenge for the upcoming season. And on top of that, they adjusted the requirements for the rewards of the challenge. You know, these fame buffs and the chests they give you? Well, the developers increased the amount of points you need to unlock them, which is kind of obvious since now you can farm these points all year long. So it's more of a balancing thing rather than a nerf. Now, this update wouldn't be a faction warfare update without some changes to the faction war. In Albion Online, you can change factions fairly frequently between cities, but this system was a bit too punishing, especially when you change from factions with very different recruitment levels. You will lose basically all of your standing with the last faction once you change. But now we have some changes that will make this system way more enjoyable. First, changing to a faction with low recruitment level can give you up to 200% of conversion for your faction points. The penalties for moving to a faction with higher enlistment bonus have been substantially reduced. Now you can retain up to 1 million faction standing instead of the 240,000 standing you usually would keep. The penalties are now based on the strength of the faction being moved to, so the penalties are lower for the weaker factions. I ain't gonna lie to you, Limhurst is the best faction. Limhurst on top, baby, let's go! And now it's time for the combat changes introduced in this patch. The Enigmatic Staff. The area size of the protective beam has been slightly increased, and the self-slow was reduced to 30% to make it more efficient in large-scale PvP. All bows! They are slightly reducing the damage of multi-shot, in an attempt to balance the fact that the ability is way too powerful after the last changes. On top of that, the Bow of Baron is the one that's being the most overpowered of them all, so they reduced the damage per tick from 23 to 21, making it so the base maximum damage goes down from 552 to 504 damage. All core staffs. The Dark Matter ability has been buffed, with some adjustments that follow the DPS increase from the Realm Divided Part 2 update, like the hit delay, the stun time, and the energy cost being reduced. All daggers. The range of the Chain Slash ability has been increased. A couple of updates ago, they changed the number of targets chained in exchange of more damage, but it was lacking some range to actually make it work. Keep in mind though, it's only the Chain Slashes that got more range. The initial cast range is still 6 meters. Another change they made was to the Shadow Edge ability. They moved the visual effects of this ability closer to the ground to better match the hitbox and make it easier to land. The Demon Fang. This weapon has suffered from some collateral damage after the resilience penetration nerfs, so they increased the damage of the weapon to compensate. The Icicle Staff. The Frozen Hell ability has received a new effect. Now it has a 3.5 meter radius area in the center. Inside that area, an additional 30% slow is applied. This was done to help it function better as a defensive tank in PvP. All Holy Staffs. Ever since they've buffed the Holy Beam, the Holy Staffs have been dominating across all content types. So they reduced the amount of initial healing and also the healing increase per tick, reducing the total base healing amount significantly. The Bedrock Mace. An amazing 10... Huh? 10,000 1000% damage increase. I've never seen a buff like that around here. Have you seen a buff like that before? Tell me in the comments down below because I don't remember that. But okay. So the idea is to make this weapon more functional in PvE. And to do that, they increase the damage of the Force of Nature ability. And also the ability no longer taunts mobs. And on top of that, the knockback now works different for mobs. Now it's a knock up against mobs for 0.6 seconds. All nature staffs. This change is related to the new double healer protection in the Crystal League. Now the direct healing has been replaced with a stronger healing receipt buff. That way, nature healers can support allies without contributing to healing sickness. And also they have decided to give the Rejuvenating Breeze a significant buff. Now the maximum amount of targets has been increased to 20 players. The Prowling Staff. This weapon has a couple of hard counters, especially the Cartwheel ability. So to fix this, they are giving the Pounce ability immunity to CC while dashing. Keep in mind this is immunity to CC, not damage, so you are still getting hit, but it should help balance the scales a little bit. All Spears! They reduce the cooldown of Forest of Spears to 12 seconds, making it the same cooldown amount as the Impaler ability. So this should make it clearer what the damage focus option should be between the two. All Plate Armors. They adjusted the hit delay and the stun time of the taunt ability to make it feel smoother in both PvE and PvP. And finally, the Assassin Shoes. These shoes are still too strong, even after the previous damage nerf. The Swift Cut ability is too versatile and too reliable. It can be used in so many different builds, and thus is pushing other shoe options out of the meta. So they reduce the dash speed and increase the cooldown of this ability. And that's everything I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Now apparently if I keep the ending of the video very short, it increases audience retention. So, you subscribe, you follow Twitch, you join Discord, me scrap, bye!